just give us your reaction to the verdict.
The jury did the right thing. The evidence was there. We proved beyond any doubt whatsoever the defendant was guilty of all 4 counts as charged. We're going to ask for a real big sentence in this case. I got 2 life sentences I'm going to ask for on those 2 Class A felonies, plus a long time on those ACAs, so maybe 100 years or so consecutive to those life sentences.
Why are you asking for so much?
Denico Crawley, his whole life has been one where he's committed crimes, violent crimes against other people, and then culminating in this. This is the last time he's going to do this to a citizen out in public, I hope. And he deserves it. It's exactly what he deserves. He's one of the most dangerous people I've ever prosecuted.
Have you been able to talk to the victim's family yet?
Yes, I think they're very relieved about this, you know, for sure. And so, you know, it's a positive, clearly, you know, but nothing, of course, is going to replace their loss. But to a certain extent, justice has been done up to this point. We have to see what kind of sentence we get now.
That's December 18th at 2:30?
Yeah. I'd like to say that the Columbia Police Department, I think, did a wonderful job in this case, particularly the arrest of the defendant so quickly after the murder, going up to that residence on Jamesdale, taking him into custody at the Gerbs, following him there to the Gerbs on Paris Road. That enabled the police then to get gunshot residue off his hands and off of his shirt, which was huge evidence in this case. He also made that statement to the police. All of those lies, maybe he didn't have quite enough time to think about those lies, and those lies, I think, wound up really hurting him. They were provable lies, and the jury, I'm sure, saw right through them. And as I said to the jury, you know, there's that old adage in law enforcement that the next best thing to a confession is a provable lie. And we had plenty of those with him, and those were evidence of his consciousness of guilt in this case. So I'd like to commend the police department for doing such a fantastic job. I think another thing that we had in this case that was just powerful evidence that I talked about in closing argument were all of these recorded conversations from the Missouri Department of Corrections and also from the Boone County Jail before the murder, where he was expressing such huge animus toward both victims in this case. And then afterwards, where he clearly was involved in trying to tamper with Chelsea Hyde to get her not to testify. This illustrates the types of problems that we have here in Boone County, prosecuting some of these cases against these more violent felons, issues with witness intimidation. And we certainly had that here. We had the defendant trying to orchestrate a scheme to prevent Chelsea Hyde, the only live eyewitness, from testifying against him. And so that was exposed through these jail calls. Now, the defendant tried to speak in very vague and cryptic terms with the other individuals who were involved in this, Derek Burnett and Lawrence Lawhorn, but still, I'm sure that jury is able to see right through it and see that he was trying to prevent Chelsea Hyde from testifying. So this case illustrates that. You know, what we got here is we got a crime that was committed on I-70 near the connector, one of the most busy places, one of the busiest places in all of Columbia and Boone County. The number of lives that were jeopardized, in addition to Chelsea Hyde's life and obviously Quentin Hurt's life, were many. We had apartment complexes there on the south side of I-70, and the defendant just brazenly opened fire, shooting at least 11 times into this vehicle on I-70. Extremely dangerous situation, and that's in addition to the big chase that occurred all the way down the business loop, right here in broad daylight, right in the middle of the afternoon. He needs to go to the penitentiary for a real long time. He needs to never get out of the penitentiary.